Hey! That was a little exaggerated. What's up, guys? This is Pound from Pound's Firearms. Today, exciting times here. We are doing the FK Brno unboxing. But we're going to go ahead and do an entire mini-series on my experience with this. And yeah, there's some ups and downs in this. It's gonna be drama filled. It'll be a good series to watch here. So if you don't know about FK Brno, it is a mighty 7.5 round. So we'll go over the details here in a second, but then we'll go ahead and do the unboxing now. So this is how it comes in this green box. Now, my understanding is it's a little bit different now. They don't come with nearly as the stuff that I'm going to show you here, so I apologize if I'm going to show you what it used to come with, but I bought this when it first came out. I bought it, this is the PSD, by the way. Bought this, I don't know, it's March of 21, I think. When they first came out, March of 20, something like that. But here is their owner's manual. It's a nice colored owner's manual. Yeah, just like any other gun, tells you how to load it, how to cock it, how to release it, how to take it apart, all the different. The slide does come cut. There's no adapters needed. It does come cut for several different optics. Yeah, couple of cool things here. Yeah, so it's a really nice owner's manual considering. Oh yeah, here's a special one. So it's supposed to have a brace. They never released the brace. They never got it approved, so I think it's considered just a stock now. But yes. So back when this thing came out, you can order it with a barrel kit. I mean, you still can, but it came with one barrel kit. When this thing first came out, I opted to go ahead and do the 9mm. I shoot a lot of 9mm. I didn't need the 10 or the 40. I thought the 9mm was a little more useful. Plus, the cool thing about the 9mm kit is it came with a couple extra magazines. So, when you first got it, I got it like this, and the magazines were separate. Now, they are different styles. So these are made in Italy for Magyar. So this is the 9mm magazine here. So you can see it's the same thickness, but then they kind of tapered it down. You can kind of see the rod right here. They kind of tapered it down to fit a 9mm. And we'll compare that with an FK, the 7.5. So there you go. So it's all tapered, but they keep this gap right here to make sure it fits in the same chute. So that's how they solved for that. But it does come with 3 FK magazines, 3 7.5 magazines, and then because of the barrel kit I got the 9mm kit. The 9mm kit, so it came with an additional 2 9mm magazines and the barrel and everything else. So yes, I'll show you how that works here in a second, but we'll go and finish the unboxing. So it did come with the barrel and the extra spring. Came with the FK Brno magazines, then the 2 9mm magazines. I guess it's not in the box. I don't know what I do with it here. It did come with an extra set of iron sights. So this is what they call. Well, let's go ahead and let's not do too far along here. There's no magazine in it. This is how it looks with the magazine in it. Let's go make sure it's clear. So there's a manual safety. Dump that magazine back out. We are clear. I'm gonna see that. Yeah, but this thing is a tank. I got double X hands, and it doesn't fit in one hand. But yeah, so we are clear. So yes, so the magazine's gonna, like I said, 9mm or the 7.5. So there's your 7.5. The 7.5 is also double as 40 and 10mm. You just have to get a different barrel. And that's why I opted to get the 9mm kit, because it came with 2 extra magazines. So here's the 9mm in here. It does hold 17, I believe, on the 9. Yep, 17 on the 9. So yes. Let's go over the pistol here. So we'll start back to front on the shooter's left like we always do. So we do have the magazine release. We have the safety. with a red little safety dot in there. This is the slide lock, slide release. It's also part of the takedown pin. It is hammer fired, but there is no decocker. No decocker on this. And it is only single action. There is no double action on this. So make sure again that we're clear. Here's the trigger. Pretty decent trigger. There's the wall. And there was a slight creep, but it's a really decent trigger. I don't mind it at all. It's a pretty fast trigger. We're playing with the trigger with our hands, so yeah, let's pull out the trigger pull gauge. So nothing's fancy here. This is just a Wheeler Engineering trigger pull gauge. Just make sure there's no magazine in here. Chamber's completely empty. All right, so safe works. Put it on safe, so it's not a single action only. So we will see. All right, we got zeroed out the average, pointed in a safe direction. Let's see. All right, wall is about 2.8, 2.9 ounces. 5 pounds, 4.4 ounces. Save that one. About 2.10 ounces maybe to the wall. 5.48, 5 pounds, 4.8 ounces. Five pounds, 5.1 ounces for a 3-pull average of 5 pounds, 4. If you can see that in the light, 4.8 ounces. Pretty cool. I'll show you why this thing looks monster right here. It does have an accessory rail. It does have front and rear slide serrations. As you can see, the slide's actually pretty tiny. So if you're into the whole low bore axis thing, this one, it looks like it, but it's not. It's about standard with everything else. It just looks like it because it's a massive part of the frame here. So we'll look at the top. So here's your plates. Now, I didn't have I don't know why it's not in the box. I'll have to go find it. Maybe it's put it somewhere else here. But it did come with 2 different sights. So this is their precision sights, is what they call them. Basically, this is the one if you want to shoot far. See if we can get it lined up here, somewhere around in there. But yeah, somewhere around in there, I think. But yeah, so you have 2 little tiny white dots here, and then the red dot in the front. And that's supposed to be their precision to shoot out long range. The other one they have, and I guess I'll have to drop a picture because I don't know where my other ones went, but it's a circle with a big diamond front end. That's supposed to be their CQB close quarter sights there. So that's gonna, I won't give out the secret too much, but that's part of my problem with this gun here. So my gun, I got it so early on here, and you'll see it here in a second. My serial number is 782. So yeah, it's one of the early productions, and I had a lot of issues with this. A lot of the other famous or more popular YouTube channels out there that they got their guns for free, I had to pay for mine full price, and yeah, I've had nothing but issues with this thing. This is why I haven't taken a video yet after 2-3 years, is because it's just been an ongoing saga. So, like I said, it'll. I mean, it could probably make a Netflix documentary or something. It was with all the drama that I've had with this thing. But yes, we'll continue on here. So, like I said, the slide serrations I didn't cover on the other side, but they do have these little wings right here to help manipulate the slide, which I think are fantastic. I mean, it's so not only do you have the slide serrations, but you can also grab it by then, and you have your front serrations as well. Yeah, so those are fantastic. They're clear. But yes, so on the left-hand side, there's nothing there. I think you can swap the safeties over if you wanted to. And the cool thing is, you saw in the instructions, but they have a brace for it, you know. But yeah, for those that stuck around here and watched this, I'm gonna go give you a sneak peek on why I'm doing this. So FK finally announced that they're or not finally, they just finally shipped their stocks to the US. So paperwork's pending. This is why I got excited about doing videos on it. Paperwork's pending, so I'm not going to connect it yet, but stock's super cool. sneak peek here. So so it stays in place. Pull this down, and then back, and there you go. So essentially, you would attach it like that, something like that. Pretty neato. To add to the effect here, once I SBR it, I'm gonna go ahead and probably do something like this. However, it wants to lay flat. Yeah, you can imagine it. Something like this, and then we'll probably put a little RMR on it. Something like this. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, well that's a sneak peek. Enjoy the rest of the video. But yeah, so here's the little locking mechanism, and from what I understand is you get the front of it, you hook, so it's when you look at the top of the brace, it's going to have a square just like this, and you hook the front end, and you kind of slide it down, and then it unfolds from there. That never got approved as a brace, so they never came out with it, as far as I know. They do have it in Europe, so if you're in Europe, you could probably get that. Yeah, other than that, let's go and take the sucker apart here. So this one is different to take apart. Yeah, we'll see if you can pick it out here. So there's a notch. Where's my pointer? Let me grab my pointer. I got my pointer. 308. So there's a notch right here, a little indentation right there. There's also one right here. Basically, you line these two up together, and that's when the takedown lever comes out. So the slide lock is also the takedown lever, so I find it easier. Make sure one more time we're clear. Slide it back, and you can actually use the safety to lock it in place. So once you have them lined up, you lock the safety, and then it's kind of locked in there. So now on the back side, here's the back side of that takedown lever. You just push it with your finger. Gets it started. You can see it's kind of coming out. Pull it out the rest of the way, and now it's gone. So now you hit the slide lock. The whole thing should slide forward. We'll go over that the rest of it here in a second. Let's look at the frame. This thing is super light with the frame, other than being long as heck. Yep, nothing crazy about that. Just a regular old polymer frame. It is polymer. The grips are okay. I wish they were a little more aggressive for my liking, but they're okay. Let's get into the fun part here. This is why this thing, the dang frame is so big. So they have this giant counterweight, and the reason for this counterweight is so it's not a captive spring, and that's done on purpose because you can swap springs out. But this giant counterweight here is to help mitigate the recoil from the mighty 7.5. You know, that's something we didn't show yet here. So I guess we're just going backwards in all sorts of weird ways here. So I'm gonna pull it out of the magazine here. So this is the 7.5. Now they've changed things around. This is the hollow point. I forget, there's like 4 different versions of it, but they've changed things around as far as ammo is concerned. They used to come in a green box, which is their full power version. Then they switched to a red box, which is only like a reduced power, and a lot of people complained about that. I have about 1,000 rounds of full power. Now that I know that they don't make the full power anymore, when we go out to shoot this thing, we're just gonna show you a little bit of it here. So I'll pull out the target rounds, but there are like 3 or 4 different kinds of rounds for this. So go ahead and do some research. I think there's people out there with ballistics tests and whatever else. But it's a 90 grain projectile, shooting at 2,000 feet per second. So the idea behind the 7.5, and as you can see, is bottleneck. The idea behind the 7.5 is 7.5 millimeters, so it's almost a 30 caliber bullet here at 90 grains, going 2,000 feet per second. That has the recipe for some pretty damaging results there. So the point of this is to get an AK performance out of a handgun, and that's what they were set out to do. So this thing at 100 yards should have the same kinetic energy as an AK-47 at 100 yards. That's the point of this round. So yeah, so this is almost the same as a 7.62 by 39. Pretty interesting. So yes, I'll see if I can show you the other rounds here. But yeah, so that's the whole point of the 7.5. So now after the 7.5, and I think their pistol, whatever their big pistol is, I forget what it's called now, but it does a swap, and it's like a $7,000 or $8,000 pistol. So then they came out with the PSD, which is caliber conversion, and I'm about to show you that here in a second. So one thing you didn't notice is, So it did have the big counterweight. I should have brought my scale, but it's massive. It's a huge counterweight. You got the shakedown lever. You got your recoil spring. You got your guide rod. Let's go and look at this barrel. So one thing I didn't show you, and you maybe already saw it. So that's another complaint I have is the tolerances are a little too tight. But I already had the 9mm barrel in here. If you can see that. So I did have the 9mm barrel in here. It does come with a 9mm spring, and it's outlined with with the orange or with the yellow on it. So they say if you shoot 9mm plus Ps, you can use the standard spring. If you don't use plus Ps, they recommend you switch over to the 9mm spring. So that's what was in here. We'll go ahead and convert this sucker here. So in the bag, in my kit, it was the 9mm barrels in here, but then you can tell the difference between the springs with the color. So the yellow goes with 9, so I'm going to set that aside with the 9mm barrel, and we'll just double check. 9mm Ruger, yep. And this is the 7.5 barrel, 7.5 FK, if you can see that. So to put this sucker together is put that back in the guide spring, put the counterweight on it. Counterweight's going to go ahead and go in here. Oh, we didn't finish looking at the rest of the slide here. So yeah, other than that, I mean, other than this giant contraption here to hold that counterweight, it's pretty decent. You can see the locking lugs in there. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty small frame other than being long. So I think this barrel is 6 inches long. Something like that. Alright, so we'll go into the 7.5 in. So the hardest part about this barrel is, we'll see here. So you got to kind of collapse this thing down a little bit, get it started. So you don't want to collapse it all the way, but enough to that protrudes a little bit, and then that lets you line it up. Oh, see, I missed it because now there's not enough room to get that in there. So I didn't collapse it enough. So let's collapse it more. Get in there. There we go. So the downside is there's no notch that tells you. Oh, there we go. There's no notch that tells you where you're at. You can see that there's nothing there down in here. There's nothing that tells you where you're at, so you kind of just feel for it. You make it look straight, and then it kind of lines up here. So that's how you put that together. So you see there's just a giant gap in here, and yeah, really all this is for is just to mitigate that recoil that's coming out of the 7.5. The cool news is, you know, they advertise it as a competition gun or a potential competition gun. There's so much weight on here, so when you're shooting your 9mm loads, man, that thing is just, it doesn't move. It's pretty fun to shoot. 9mm. So this is the part that I was saying that there's no notch that tells you where to go. The only way to find out where you're at is just to line it up with your eyeball as you're trying to get the frame in. So you have to switch it back and forth until, there it is, until it gets in there. There. So once it gets in there, you slide it all the way back. Same thing here. You're going to go and slide it back to the takedown lever spot. No, there is a problem with this. I forget what it is now. Let's see if we can figure it out. Yeah, let's just try it. Put it on the takedown lever spot. See if we get this notch in there. So if you look in the hole, there is a little pin in the way. See, so this takedown lever is tapered a little bit. You see that or not here from the top? There's a little taper on this side. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do, and I remember there's line that up. There we go. So I got it lined up, got it started. So now I rotate it and then push it in the rest of the way. Hit the takedown lever, and we're in there. Clear, safety check. Safety works. So yes. So, initial impression. Love it. I had to get it. I really wanted to get the whole multi-caliber thing. So, my kit came with a 9mm. But on top of the 9mm, it also came with, or you could also get an additional 10mm 40 Smith & Wesson /10. You can use both out of the same barrel. When I got this, you either choose the 10 or the 9. I got the 9 in hopes that I can go ahead and order the 10mm immediately. Well, when this thing first came out, that 10mm kit wasn't out yet. So I bought the 9, so I was able to use the 9. I wasn't able to get the 40/10 for like a year and a half, 2 years. It took forever for those kits to finally come out. Hence part of the drama here. So what we'll stay tuned on the next video here, and I'll show you the 10mm kit. But yeah, so this is the 7.5 conversion from a 7 to a 9. The 9 does come with the colored springs on it. This is the original box that it came with. It is all nice and padded. Here's your owner's manuals. And yeah, so this is the unboxing, a detailed unboxing of the FK Brno. My initial impressions, like I was saying, it is a heavy gun. To me, it looks like a RoboCop gun. It almost looks like it should be in the movie of RoboCop. The weight isn't necessarily bad. I mean, it definitely manages the recoil. So go ahead and stay tuned for my shooting video on here. We'll go ahead and convert this thing over. We'll shoot the 7.5. We'll shoot the 9, and yeah, we'll shoot the 10 as well here. So yeah. So the final thoughts. Grip is okay. I wish it was a little more aggressive, but because the gun's so heavy, it really kind of compensates for the weight of that. I love the 7.5 round. These optics or these sights are accurate up to right up to 100 yards. I can hit stuff at 100 yards no problem with those iron sights. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put an RMR on here. The part I don't like, and you saw it on the picture of the owner's manual, is it's cut for all these different plates, but it just looks weird. It's like gaps and holes and whatever else. But yeah, so I think I'll put an RMR on here. Maybe put the close quarters sights back on. The RMR doesn't quite co-witness with this. At least I don't think it's going to, just because it's so flat shooting. But yes, love it. Love the gun itself. I do have issues with mine. I have several issues with mine, and the customer service was equally worse, or equally bad, maybe worse. I don't know. Yeah, so it's drama. Stay tuned for the rest of the drama. We'll see if we can cover it here. We'll go over the drama. We'll go over the 10mm. We'll go over, see if we can get the stock. We'll shoot it. We'll swap barrels out. We'll do all that. All right, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode.